to it.
Hey.
Welcome to
halfway to...
Welcome to
Halfway.
Okay. This is going to be a fun episode.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
All right.
Welcome to Halfway Through Time. My name's Chad. I'm joined by Cayman and Jay and Annie.
Yay.
Woo.
Hey.
Hi, Annie.
Okay, I've got a hypothetical question for you. I realized when
this is our first hypothetical question at the beginning
I realized
of an episode.
that. Usually it's just general, like, what would you do? It's still, what would you do? Hypothetically, you're...
Skin them.
Fresh out of high school, your dream is to become a NASCAR driver, and you're going to do it without the help of any corporations or sponsors. What kind of weird, maybe illegal, side hustle do you do to get a shitload of money so you can do your own NASCAR team?
Right. So you got to test your car first to make sure it's
There's
up
a
to
lot
snuff.
of stuff.
So the first thing you do is you got to test the
money.
horsepower of your car. So to test the horsepower of your car, you get as many humans as you can. You rope them up to the back and have them try to resist the car. You hit the gas, see how fast your car is. That's step one. Step two is you find a corporation. You got to take down the big man to take,
Yeah.
So you put him in the crowd, but it's just him. So he's got to try to stop a car. He's not going to stop a car. He's dead.
So how many
Corporation's dead.
CEO power it has?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's dead. Done. So you do that to every CEO. Before you know it, there are no big corporations. You're the head guy in town because everyone's afraid that you're going to drag them behind your car. Boom. NASCAR, here I come.
You're like 30% on for what this episode is going to be about. Kind of, in a way.
Nice.
I like that. I don't know.
You?
Do
Me?
guys got anything?
Me? Okay, so
It's like, I don't know.
you got to get some scratch, and you also need an engine. So what you do is you start by getting a push, those lawnmowers that you get that you actually start pushing, right?
Yep.
Except for it's the metal ones, like the ones that don't have an engine on it. Yeah.
Ones that just spin and chop.
Yeah, so you mow lawns until you can afford, like, a nicer one, and then you get that nicer one, then you can mow lawns faster, which means more lawns. Then finally you get a riding lawnmower. And then after you get a riding lawnmower, you just start putting so many parts and things into it until you can fucking trick out that riding lawnmower, and then your car is now your NASCAR business.
It's kind of like Killdozer with a lawnmower.
Yeah.
And for NASCAR.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like it too.
That's a good plan. And that also is spookily close to one of the very first things we talk about. No shit.
Man, we're on.
You guys are psychic.
We're
or
fucking
something.
on it today, Cayman.
Yeah, we're psychic minded.
Well, I guess I would become a teacher's aide with the mechanic kids
Oh,
and get them to
shit.
be on my side, so I have a pit crew.
that's so smart.
And then you start having secret races where you have all the kids text out their race things, so it becomes like a pop-up thing. And so you're like a YouTube star with the kids.
Hell yeah.
And then you start from there. Then you get in NASCAR because you're
Yeah.
So you just get super popular.
yeah,
Get
because of the
celebrity
young
status.
kids.
Here's
Yeah.
my thing, though. Pivot, instead of NASCAR, battle bots.
Okay.
Shit.
Battle
How
bots
about pivot for you too? You make a lawnmower battle bot.
Oh, it's already been done 1,000 times.
Do it again.
The best one's the one with it's just got a cleaver on it and just choppies. I love battle bots.
It's pretty cool.
It's the coolest thing.
It's getting crazy. I've just seen random little things, and it's getting crazier.
Now-
I love that it's coming back.
I want battle drones to be a thing.
Did you ever play that old PC game like 2002, and it was a BattleBots game?
No.
That shit was
sounds
tight
great.
as hell. You got to custom. Oh man, I haven't thought of that in 20
See, the problem
years.
with the drones flying,
Yeah.
battle drones,
Yeah.
is that they would have to be able to shoot each other, because if you just run into each other, you're both just...
Dude, it's just.
Well, that's why you get
you
the
can't-
chopper thing.
You can't just put chopper things on it.
It's just you fucking screw a paintball gun with like a
Yeah, you got a
mechanism on a
dogfight.
drone.
Yeah, you got a dog
And those
fight
drones
on.
go like 80 miles an hour on those courses. And
That would be fucking dope.
Yeah,
Fuck
but
yeah.
if your saw got it the other one first,
Yeah. There you go.
It's just not realistic.
then you had a bigger engine in your drone or whatever the fuck it is. Maybe it
that's-
could hold
okay,
more
okay.
weight,
On
like
a s-
Amazon wants to use.
those types of drones, those giant ones with the steel frames that are like 60 pounds.
Hold a ton of
Yeah.
shit.
There was like a leaked Pentagon funding
the
to
weaponized
make
thing.
those base. It's like, imagine like the size of, I don't know, like a foosball table
Jesus Christ.
with no legs, just that, maybe bigger, but it's just like these iron bars. And the Pentagon released their plans and like funding to put just all kinds of weapons on them.
Sure.
Bombs, guns,
Brass
chemical
knuckles.
gas, fucking pocket sand. Who knows?
Oh, man.
Anyway, it was
Dude,
terrifying.
pocket sand's dangerous.
Real quick, speaking of drones, did you guys see that video on Reddit the other day of a guy who was breaking up a noisy house party with his drone?
No.
He just flew his drone over the house party and then he attached a Roman candle to it, so it
They
just
just
hit
started
people.
shooting them. It was so good, and they were just scattering.
That's great.
Yeah,
It was,
I want to get a
it was
drone.
real good.
That would be a fun game. Like, you know how when you shoot your friend with Roman candles?
Yeah.
Okay, you do that, but you stand like in a certain spot, like 20 feet away or something, and you both have a drone. You're doing like Minesweeper, or not Minesweeper. God damn it, asteroids over each other.
Okay.
With the drone, you're trying to boo, 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 and you have to stand still and not be a bitch.
I say it'd be even more fun to run because you got the thing on it. So you're running blindfolded.
Just in an open
Getting
field.
Shot out by a drone.
I think it'd be even better to just have them fight. Knock the one out of the sky. That's what I've been talking about this whole time, guys. You're like no one's been listening to me.
One other thing like that. Have you seen that video where the like professional soccer players put on the
I've played
VR?
professional soccer before.
They put on the VR and they're watching themselves like in FIFA from up above.
Oh, yeah.
But they're running around, and so they're just trying so hard to walk forward and kick a ball. It's great.
I want to do that.
So I would work at a NASCAR like Ferrari factory, and I would do the old Johnny Cash thing, you know, where he smuggled out one piece of the car at a time in his lunchbox or whatever the fuck that story is.
Is that Johnny Cash?
Johnny Cash.
He
think so.
he snuck out one guitar string at a time,
Yeah.
and
It only took 8 trips.
all the way to rock and roll.
Well, anyway, there's a story about a dude who put the parts in like
Country music. That's a my bad, guys.
He's
He played country
Still
music.
Johnny Cash.
No,
Though.
that's
cool.
J Cash.
old country's cool.
But
Yeah, so then I got myself all the parts.
how you
and,
gonna put fuel in it?
I work nights at the airport, get jet fuel.
Okay.
And but I'm trained, like I'm at the factory for like 10, 20 years, so I know how to build them. And so it just takes me like my weekends for like maybe 5 months, and then
That sounds like that sounds like a plot to a movie.
it's a plot to a song.
I can't wait for him to get busted after he just like took a muffler home.
Yeah.
He gets fired and all he's left with is a muffler.
What's
It'd
your
be an
pit crew gonna
expensive
be?
muffler, huh?
Is it just gonna be like the old guys you have lunch with, and that's your pit crew?
No, it's going to be a new thing. I'm going to start my own thing where the whole sport isn't the fact that you drive and hit the pit crew for 2.3 seconds or whatever the fuck. You are the pit crew. So when you need to swap, it's like one person per team. So you pull in and you got to get out, and so it maybe takes a while. And then you get back, and it's kind of like a dad working on a car sport. So there's like another element of
Okay.
I was gonna say his pit crew was gonna be the leftovers from the people I pulled behind my car, so they all got like one arm and half a leg and shit.
no. I think the people at the craft services just pick that up and make chili out of them.
Oh, okay.
They actually broke
Yeah, reduce,
the.
reuse, recycle.
I think they just
I
broke
agreed.
the record for the pit crew thing. It's like 1.9
I saw that.
seconds, something like that.
I watched that like 10 times in a row, and I'm like, I still can't see how they did all that.
Yeah.
Things just pop and then pop on the car.
Change all 4 tires and everything in
Gas, I
one
think, too.
in less than 2 seconds. It's insane.
Yeah.
So you're limited by how fast the tools work.
Well, and in fact, we're going to talk about at least one example, because I don't know dog shit about NASCAR, but there's one specific example where they talk about like having to invent technology that basically keeps you alive. And so like back then, when we're talking about this in 70 days, they had to like figure shit out. And so
Yeah.
all this crazy stuff they have now, people maybe died for, or, you know,
Nice.
it's just like airplanes or whatever.
gotta-
You got to improve the technology.
You got to break some eggs to make a redneck omelet. Wow. NASCAR's kind of.
You gotta break some eggs too to make a
Way.
NASCAR episode.
Good segue, but this is
Wow, you
cars.
guys are, man.
Not the guy.
Oh, well, let's start. I'll tell
Oh,
you.
that's right. You brought your binder here.
We're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be
Who's
super
1
fucking
ounce
fun.
leather cream?
That's his birth name, but he went by Randy.
One
name's
ounce
Randy?
leather cream.
We're talking about a dude named Randy. Oh shit! Every Randy I know has a mustache.
He, 2 or 3 of the things he is a mustache, and he goes fast. He's a fast mustache. All right, let's fucking do this. I'm so ready. This is going to be so goddamn fun.
She's recording.
Okay, today we are talking about fast boats, faster cars, NASCAR, drug smuggling by the literal ton, and then a lot of stuff in part 2 that I can talk about that I was about to. I'm also a little too stoned. I've got 3 sets of pictures here, so this is in like kind of 3 or 4 chunks. My sources are, I found this at the last minute though, so I've only listened to like 20 minutes of it. The Marshall Pruitt podcast. I don't know anything about him other than his logo is a race car. Did a podcast where he actually interviewed this guy in 2016, which is crazy once we're done with all this. But anyway, so I got to listen to him actually talk. He's really old now. but it was interesting. So some of my stuff is like little weird details from that. And then the other one is I just very liberally took chunks of text, because this is a long story, from a Rolling Stones article called Weed Racer, the Unlikely Rise and Fall of Florida's Marijuana Smuggling Kingpin.
Weed Racer.
Hold on, there's a lot of buzzwords in there.
This whole episode is going to be nonstop crazy fun. So
Racer, Florida.
Oh yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Kingpin.
Columbia.
Oh,
I mean,
shit.
in that sentence, you had me
Barges.
at Kingpin.
Speedboats. Award champion, or not championships, but 24-hour nonstop race. It's all kinds of stuff. So the guy we're talking about's name is Randy. I'm going to say this wrong sometimes. Randy Lanier. It's like Rainier with an L.
Okay.
It is early life. Chapter 1. Oh, wait. I don't give you these yet. He was born in 1954 in Lynchburg, Virginia. His father was a stern man.
That's a name for a town.
I know.
Lynchburg.
That's a yikes.
You know
That's like
that's
the
in the South.
That's
Yeah.
heart of the South there. He was his dad was a straight-laced country boy from a tobacco farm in Virginia. Randy Lanier, instead of his dad and his mother, they didn't even have running water. Not prosperous people, but very hardworking. When he was a child, he fed his grandparents pigs and catfished on the James River.
Hell yeah, that sounds like good childhood.
Did they eat them whole or did they cook them?
Could not tell you. You guys, you're going to ask me for a lot of details. Don't know.
I hope he was noodling.
Could be. Catfishing, yeah.
Yeah.
At 13, his family moved from Virginia to Hollywood, Florida, which is kind of a smallish town outside of Fort Lauderdale, and it's very far south, really close to the tip of the dick of the United States.
Tip of the dick.
His father, the stern man, was a carpenter, and his mother was a caretaker in a psychiatric hospital. Randy adjusted well to moving down to Florida. He enjoyed the relaxed beach hippie culture. Easygoing, good weather, lots of fun. He got into a fuckload of fun. This guy had so much fun in half a lifetime. He grew a ponytail and would go to acid festivals. He quickly became interested in NASCAR, listened to it on the radio and watched it on the TV all the time. Big reason for that is that's big NASCAR territory because Daytona is 4 hours away to the north. When he was a kid, so this is one of the things you talked about in the intro, he would build go-karts made with the lawnmower's motor. And like slam them together, and yeah.
I had friends that used to do that in junior high. Actually,
Yeah.
They had this like weird club that they used to go to with their dad. I don't know.
I had some friends do that too.
I didn't know
That
it
shit was so fun.
Yeah.
On top of that, he liked dirt biking and anything that went fast. He just wanted to go fast and not give a fuck about it. One thing that he said at some point. So a lot of the quotes and some of the facts are going to be kind of out of timeline, but anyway, this is a quote from him. This gives you a good idea of what he's about. The thing about driving is that you got to go as fast as your nutsack lets you.
Woo-wee!
I want that as a tramp stamp.
Dude, this guy's a fucking... So that podcast interview I mentioned, I forgot the name of it already. Marshall Pruitt podcast. Go check that out. He's really a wacky dude. So Randy Lanier, he took his hobbies very seriously. And his two major hobbies were going fast and selling fuckloads of weed. He was driven and passionate, and most importantly, really fucking good at his two hobbies. He could go fast and he could sell.
So
weed.
he was just pure. I like two things: weed and go fast.
That's been literally his entire life. He found or discovered weed at 14, started smoking it recreationally. Then at 15, he started selling it.
He evolved quickly.
Oh, yeah, dude. We're going to hear all about it. His dad was pissed about the ponytail and probably him being just a party animal. His dad demanded, because his dad's an old, he grew up on a tobacco farm. He's hard old boy.
I like that. He knows he has a son who smokes weed and drives go-kart things.
Goes to acid festivals.
And the things he's upset about, you got yourself a ponytail, boy.
Remember, this is about, what year was he born? 54. So this is late 60s. This is late hippie time. He's like, no, son of mine's going to be a goddamn hippie.
He didn't want his son to be a part of the counterculture.
Exactly. And we're going to find out.
His dad's just Hank Hill.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay.
And he's a carpenter. Just keep that in mind.
His dad's a part of the greatest generation. They can't have none of that ponytail shit.
So Randy was kind of not on the same page
Huh.
because when his dad told him to do that, he hitchhiked to Canada, and all he had with him was a bag of pot, 4 hits of acid, and $5. He just hit the road like 68, 69.
This guy is
So
Awesome.
he's got
to
the
the
taste.
land of maple dreams.
He's got the fucking taste of the wildlife, and he'll never let it up until he has to. Came back home after Canada, and then he was pretty quickly expelled from school because they found an ounce of weed on him. But he went back and got his GED later. He wasn't a dumb kid. He just wanted to fuck around. Well,
He wanted to party.
Yeah, do his own thing. At this point, he's selling weed. Like, he's the local guy. He's selling a lot of weed. Like, ounces and ounces and ounces is, it's a decent amount, especially for a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
At this point, he started packing the air vents of a Volkswagen Beetle with weed, and he left.
Fuck yes.
He
I
just
love that he owns a
stacked
Volkswagen Beetle.
the Beetle, and he left for Aspen, Colorado to meditate with a guru.
I do like that this speed demon picked the slowest car, but
Well,
it's a Volkswagen Beetle, so that's dope as shit.
He was getting money at this point. He's not going to drive anything slow ever again. He went to Aspen. That was just a fun little anecdote. He's just
no, it was great.
doing his own thing.
Love it.
Randy remembers when he was young, late high school age, that his mother would tell him all the time that you're smart enough to do other things, and just kind of that mom thing, especially from that generation, like, you're just so smart and you shouldn't be doing that.
So much potential.
Fucking ponytail. Anyway, he said in response to that, she was giving me good guidance, but I just wouldn't listen. Looking back, it's like, absolutely, you're right, Mom. But that's how it goes. Okay, time for the first pictures.
Oh, hello.
Oh, God. I can't wait to see this fucking hairy lip.
You don't get to see him yet, bitch.
Oh,
There's a
man.
meme in there, too. I just had to do it. I thought about it. So we can talk about that here in a second. So yeah, the top map there is just Google Maps showing Hollywood to Daytona. You can see it's right on the ocean, Caribbean or whatever. Anyway, all right, this part is smuggling part 1. He started working construction to make a living after he was done being hippie dude. I mean, he's still doing wacky shit. He's still selling weed on the side, selling more and more and more. Really getting kind of big time for his town. He's living in Florida. Oh, right. Okay, so since he's living in Florida and he's a speed demon and an adrenaline junkie and just wants to do everything fun, he's making a lot of money from all this weed. It's time to buy a fucking boat. Get yourself a fast old boat, go out there on the ocean, do whatever the fuck you want.
That actually sounds rad as shit.
Right around the early 70s.
From this picture, this boat's hauling.
Yeah, that's the type of boat. So anyway, at age 19, he bought a 27-foot long, that was a pretty good sized boat, Magnum Go Fast boat. And so that's what that is.
Go fast.
I like
Well,
you
that's-
named that.
That's their name.
We should call it the Go Fast boat. It's not strong enough. Magnum Go Fast. Hey.
Dude, yeah. That's like, what is that? 19 is 60, 73.
It's like
so
the
that's
big
early
dick
70s
condoms,
as
but
fuck.
on a
Yeah.
boat.
Well, yeah, just it's the penis of a boat.
So instead of
But those-
fighting in the Vietnam War like his brethren, he's out smuggling drugs on a dope-ass boat.
Fuck yeah.
Dope
Fuck yes.
boat.
Getting slizzed, hanging out on the beach, drinking, and having
Yeah.
fun. So that boat cost $18,000 in 1974, which is equivalent to $73,000 today. So him doing smallish, medium-size weed selling is getting him that much fucking money to be able to just buy a boat.
I'm in the wrong business.
I
What
know.
the hell?
One thing he said about why and kind of when he got the boat, all it said was, after he got the boat, well, I went out and I got a load. Just go, you got a boat now. Go get weed from over there. He went offshore to the Bahamas initially. He had some hookups. There's a lot of people that are involved in this story that have their own, like, pretty interesting, weird, lot of facts. So I'm cutting them out until next episode. Okay. So there's people all the time around him he's doing this with, and employees and partners and NASCAR. It's just crazy anyway. When he would go to the Bahamas initially, he would pack 750 pounds of weed in that speedboat.
Jesus Christ.
The thing about those boats, too, is that they are, like, fast as fuck. That's the fastest boat you could have at the time. You're just screaming down there in Florida.
A dumb question. So I'm guessing they're like just bricks of weed, right?
Probably.
Do those float?
If they're closed, if they're totally airtight, they might.
They should.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
imagine.
Okay.
In fact, at some point, they end up throwing 50-pound bales. So whatever that might be, maybe compressed,
Jesus,
still like
yeah.
maybe a foot wide or more. I don't know. Yeah, so he was starting out 750 pounds at 20. And when he got back to Fort Lauderdale, and so at this point too, he's just delivery guy, basically middleman. So he's not actually like making big profits, but he made $5,000 at the time on that first 750 pounds.
Jesus.
Then he was like, "Fuck yeah, let's buy 2 more speedboats," because quote he said, "None of it seemed very difficult. You just go and get the weed, put it in the boat, go fast, go to the shore, drop it off. There you are. Let's do that with 2 more boats." You could slip up the canal late at night, disappear into the complex intracoastal waterway there in Florida. Tons of little, I mean, it's like a labyrinth. It was a smuggler's paradise, is a quote. Smuggler's paradise. It was like the pirate days. Sure it was. I'm sure they were doing all kinds of shit. So within just a few years, so he's early 20s now, he had 3 big, super nice stash houses in the fanciful horse country west of Fort Lauderdale. So he's already moved into the rich neighborhood, the super, super rich. And I remember in this interview on the podcast, he was talking about, yeah, all these guys I was doing this with in NASCAR or in drug smuggling. He's like, well, our daughters would ride horses, do equestrian sport, you know, high class shit, nannies and what. Like he immediately made it.
Jesus Christ.
And this was happening a lot down there because, well, we're going to. So
is this guy good looking?
We're about to see.
Okay, because I'm picturing like Bradley Cooper or like Matthew McConaughey.
Oh yeah.
You're going to see him.
Okay.
I think you're aiming a little high, bud.
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
So he had his houses in 1976. He married his high school sweetheart, whose name was Pam, when they were 22. She said of how they met, "He was dealing drugs since the day I met him. He liked that fast money. His first big deal, I was graduating from high school. He drove up to Gainesville to sell something, so he was doing a big drug deal. I kept looking and looking from the stage, and he came in late, but he made it." Anyway, they met during a drug deal when she was about to graduate high school. So they're all doing this young as hell. Like,
I like that. Was
yeah.
she pretty? Was she pretty thin?
Have not seen a picture of her.
Because you know, Pam prevents food from sticking.
How's it going? Okay, yeah.
No, nothing.
I'm not with that.
I'll give it a. They had a daughter. Let's see. So this is jumping ahead, just to tell you. But 4 years later, they had a daughter named Brandy, and they had a son. 11 years after they got married, named Glenn. Quick story about Glenn. He was named after Randy's younger brother, who was killed in a motorcycle accident at the age of 16.
Oh, jeez.
So, but anyway, around the time he's having these kids, he is rolling in money, living the party life, doing whatever the fuck he wants. Around that same time, Colombian gold hit the scene. Now, this was large, like manufacturing of, I guess, good Colombian weed. It was super easy to transport up to the Gulf, and like, for instance, Randy Lanier most of the time was selling into Chicago, Illinois, and so kind of mafia anyway. But so Columbia Gold. Oh, okay, now it's time to give you a picture. No, wait, that's on this one. Yeah, that's that same area
right here.
Yeah, it's called the Guajira Peninsula. Began flooding America's black market and fueled a boom. The peninsula was soon dotted with more than 100 loading facilities for motherships.
Jesus.
So giant freighters had 100 places to stop just to load this stuff. I mean, it was huge industry, the CIA and all that shit back then as well. That's obviously another rabbit hole, but
Right.
a lot happening, a lot getting moved, and Randy's in it. He's like, this is sick. I take the boat over there, I come back, I have tons of money.
So Randy's just going around like, I picked the perfect time to do this shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's like,
Holy
fuck working
fuck.
construction. And fuck selling weed on the street. I'm just going to drive a boat. Freighters and fishing vessels that were capable of transporting bales by the ton, which is 2,000 pounds, from those, and then around the islands nearby and to the U.S. Newly rich locals called it La Bonanza Marimbera, which means the marijuana bonanza.
I like that.
So that whole area just became rich as fuck.
I feel like we really missed out on a good time to live in Florida.
Could be.
I think so.
I think every time's a good time to live in Florida.
I feel like a lot of people might have died too in and around this. I don't know, but I'm sure.
But not like the people like us that would just be smoking weed.
Well, fair. Yeah. Oh, right. Sure. In South Florida, many other people, tons of young men of humble origins, recognized this opportunity, and they were like, fuck yeah, I get a boat, I get more money, I get more boats. This is great. This is a quote from the mayor of Everglades City. He said, I have seen many people that probably could not buy a $200 pickup 5 or 6 years ago, and they come out with this big money all of a sudden. It made outlaws out of a lot of good citizens.
Hey there, friend. How did you get all this money?
Because it was straight up too easy. It's when that shit started. So.
I bought a boat.
That makes sense. No more questions. Here's a truck.
Are those mint leaves? What you got there? Rosemary?
Paper down, huh?
I just didn't want
not allowed
to.
to
I didn't want
look
to
at 'em?
interrupt you guys' thing. All right, this section's called racing. We're gonna get into the fast stuff. So you got to remember this whole time, he is starting to race and he is making it huge in the smuggling game, like actually getting kind of a dynasty started. And he's keeping both up at once, and the public has no idea for a while, and no one involved in racing does either.
I'm surprised this dude still has a mustache.
Some of them don't, but we'll see more pictures of him too.
Because I bet you he's got a lot of bussy friction on that. This guy looks like he slays.
It's like a shop broom. So now we're in 1978. Lanier stumbled upon a car club booth at a Miami auto show. So it's like, hey, come join our club and you can drive fast on the track. He picked up a brochure and then was signed up for a racing class. Quote, he said about himself at the time, I didn't have a clue. I just fucking drove. He didn't have a clue, but what he did have was a hardwired feel for high-speed driving and an abnormal risk tolerance. He just didn't give a fuck. And in fact, he crashed a few times and was fine, but he didn't give a fuck at all every time. He's like, God damn it, well, get out there next week. Lanier soon bought his own car, a rattle-trap 1957 Porsche Speedster, which is that car in the picture. Apparently, it was wired with lamp cords, so it was a little DIY, a lot like his go-kart.
Rattle Trap's a nickname for my butt cheeks.
Ooh. And he entered amateur competitions just for fun. He was like, let's go do this. It'll be great. I love driving fast.
This is it right here?
Yeah, yeah.
That thing's cool looking. It looks like the Batmobile almost.
Yeah, it's definitely, what did I say, 57, yeah.
Yeah.
Hence the number.
So, yeah, right. He hung around the tracks. He studied with other drivers. He just paid attention, did a lot, and was good at it. A well-known instructor taught him some fundamentals like cornering, apexes, skid control. You know, we all know what that is.
When you get to the left turn left.
Say that again.
When you get to the left turn left.
Oh, I turn right. All right, no problem. I'll
No,
turn
no,
right.
you turn left.
Wait, left?
Yeah.
That is a meme, but NASCAR is like, he has to have a pretty deep understanding of physics and geometry to be able to even like go high speeds around. So it is hard. It doesn't seem hard.
Steel-toe boots, so that way you press the pedal faster.
I just broke off the steering wheel when it was left. And
Also,
now I
does he have
just
the
go
Hands
left.
Against Across America hat on?
I think so, maybe. My God, just like that wasn't Hereditary. That was Hereditary.
Us.
Or Us.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. So yeah, he just hung out, was about the crowd. The instructor later said that Randy was, quote, one of the best, most talented students I've ever had. So he's having fun, doing well. He continued driving in the grassroots circuits until at the 24 Hours of Daytona race. So that's where they drive for 24 hours. Takes a team, and I don't know if they swap out exactly, but you drive like for 24 hours straight, nonstop.
They do swap out.
Okay. This is in 1982.
This isn't the Great Race of
I didn't know.
1908.
I didn't know.
Where one guy's just driving across the...
Yeah, he wasn't supposed to, though. He's just a jackass.
He's the hero.
But again, look at that car. They're just
He's
in a
the
car.
hero.
There's none of the crazy exhausts and like temperature control, and it barely has power
I
steering.
should say, I don't know if in 1982 they swapped out, but nowadays, when they do those races,
Sure.
they do swap out.
I think that they may not have back now.
Back now.
There's a person named Janet Guthrie who was like the first professional racer woman. But anyway, she was. So his friend who worked for her slipped in some tantalizing information that Guthrie was sick and needed a replacement. They hadn't quite figured it out yet. So he got into a Ferrari 512 and drove several practice laps fast enough to impress the team. They're like, hell yeah, you just went around pretty quick. And you know what you're doing.
You turn left.
He and two other... Oh, this is where it is. He and two other drivers, so they were swapping out, kept the car in third place for 18 hours before, while Randy Lanier was driving, he destroyed the Ferrari's gearbox. It just blew up or something.
Just grinding the gears.
Yeah, but they held third place for the whole time.
That's insane.
And because of that, other people were still impressed because shit happens, you know.
Yeah.
Another team asked him to drive in a few months for France's 24-hour Le Mans, which I've heard of randomly. I didn't know what exactly it was, but it's a very famous race.
I thought Le Mans was that play that
Yeah,
Never
was
mind.
it? I don't know.
I think Shakespeare wrote it.
I was making a Les Mis
Oh, yeah.
joke.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say. Never mind.
So Le Mans is the world's oldest auto endurance race. So yeah. Anyway, it was a big fucking deal for him, especially because he was just doing this for fun with regional. You know, it'd be like going from regionals to nationals within months. This is the moment he stepped into the big times. It changed everything for him when it came to racing, and he was hooked. Again, he's got two hobbies, and again, all of that smuggling's going on at the same time.
Oh,
Like,
so he's still doing the weed shit.
all parts of this story are at the same time. So he's living this double life, living rich, and that wasn't. Well, we're about to do this. For instance, here's a quick little thing. At that point, when he was going into Le Mans, he and his wife Pam flew in on a private jet, and they stayed in a 56-room chateau. So fancy castle, bigger than a castle maybe. Super nice, best place in France. Randy said of that experience. Oh wait, actually, is this other thing I got to do part of that? No.
Don't look at his
it's not.
notes.
No, can confirm that was just an empty vanilla folder. There was
No, it
nothing
was.
in there.
There's writing.
I
here.
know. I was
Okay.
just.
I didn't want you to think I'm actually.
That's
saying.
actually what I do at work to look busy. Is I walk around with an empty folder like that, and I just open them like, oh,
Wow.
and then close it, and
Looks
I
good.
keep walking.
Nice.
No one stops.
You take
me.
it into the bathroom with you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Secret. No one can know.
And so he was talking about how when he and Pam were there,
It's just your poop schedule.
It is.
it was just like mind blowing because they're both from pretty poor, just working class families. He's already making lots of money, but this was like even another level than regional drug lord money. This was crazy. So a quote from him at the time was, "That's when it hit me. The lifestyle, the racing, the whole package. I told Pam, this is something I want to be a part of." And so he made up his mind. He's going to fucking do it. So Randy went to the big times. And let's see. Part 2 is not the next one.
I'm sure Pam was also like, I also like being rich. Let's.
So the same year, so again, the next like 2 years is when everything happens, okay? So that year he was doing all that racing, getting into the big times. At the same time, right before the Le Mans race, before he went, Lanier was standing on a deck of a rented house in Melbourne Beach. It was after midnight. He and a high school friend named Ben Kramer, one of these people that are around him, and they're all connected, wore night vision goggles together. They were each wearing some. There were spotters nearby watching ahead for police patrols, so they had this whole operation set up. He was really good about getting in and out very quietly, surveilled, whatever.
Surveyed?
That's the one. I'm a little too stoned. A line of inflatable Zodiac boats, whatever those are, I didn't look them up. Each manned by a single pilot, waited on the beach. Kramer, his friend, who had recently been released from prison for marijuana trafficking, had introduced Lanier to the traffickers in Colombia. So that was his connection there. His buddy's like, no, it'll be great. And he's like, Randy's like, fuck yeah, it'll be great. I already do a lot of fucking moving weed. Let's move some more.
A Zodiac boat's kind of like a pontoon.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, okay. So this new connection, basically in his world, meant a big promotion. He's going from small game to big game. Just like he's doing at NASCAR at the exact same time.
Jesus.
I'm sorry, a pontoon with like an engine attached.
That's what I figured, yeah.
Yeah.
He was no longer a middleman distributor. He could buy the marijuana himself, premium stuff, best anyone could get, direct from the source, dramatically improving his profit margin. After rearranging this new deal, Lanier had bought a Norwegian fishing trawler. So I'm guessing like at least a 40, 60-foot boat, whatever.
Yeah, those things are cool if it's the one I'm thinking of. They're the ones with the giant nets in the back.
Right.
You throw out the giant nets and then you just go and scoop up all the fish.
Yep. It was called Ursa Major. Was it this? And again, he would like hollow out, hide it, stash it in the walls. I mean, all kinds of crazy shit. And their excuse was always, we're just fishing, dude.
What was Ursa's Minor, though?
Maybe one of those little pontoon boats.
Okay.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I lost my spot. Okay, so at this moment, while they're on the beach with the night goggles and everyone in boats, that ship, Ursa Major, floated offshore with 15,000 pounds of Colombian gold premium marijuana stashed in the hold.
Did you say
15,000 pounds.
1,000?
That's 7.5 tons.
Holy shit.
So that's a promotion. He's really doing it now. By the way, he's in his life in general on both sides, he's breaking some laws. I'm pretty sure they're all on the weed side, and he's breaking a lot of them. Like federal felony as fuck, lots and lots of international drug smuggling. He's like kingpin level in a way. And again, this
I
is
don't think it's
early
in a
80s.
way. I think it's
Oh,
actually
right, yeah,
kingpin
exactly.
status at this
So
point.
they're on the beach. They see they set a blinking strobe light to draw it in on a dune. Kramer radioed the Ursa captain, Leroy Slick Wisser.
Leroy Slick.
Leroy, quote, middle fun nickname, Leroy Slick Wisser.
I love that.
His last name's Wisser. Slick is his.
That sounds like a man who could spit his chew and kill a man with it.
Yeah. He probably spits his chew up and catches it for fun. 'Cause that's
He
slick.
probably spits his chew up and makes someone else catch.
Hell yeah. Fucking bitch. So
Come here, Doc boy. I'll show you a trick.
Slick Wisser, the captain of the big boat, and the Zodiacs motored into the surf. Out in the Atlantic, the pilots quickly transferred 50-pound bales into their smaller boats. The second it lands, they got all the boats to load it off. Fully loaded, the Zodiacs navigated back to shore using the strobe light as a homing beacon. On the beach, a human chain of unloaders hauled the bales to a convoy of waiting vans. So he's got all this set up. The second it lands, it's just easy, easy, easy. Let's go.
Yeah.
And then it's on the road and gone. And they took them to one of Lanier's stash houses. The next day, he sold the entire 15,000-pound load for nearly $4 million in 82 money.
Just stop right there. You're done.
And what he had to say about that, he doesn't necessarily agree with you either. Like, he didn't quite agree with his dad. He said, that was the beginning. It only evolved from there.
No, you just stop right there. You just stop. You're fine.
Dude, he's going fast and he's selling weed. And those are the only two fucking things he's doing. And he's doing them both and he's killing it.
But you just sold all the weed you need to sell.
He's got 7 houses, Cayman.
That's
He's got one in
fine.
France, one in Colorado, one in the other house. I don't even know.
How much was it? $4 million?
4.5 million, 82 money.
Can't even think of it like this.
Almost 40 years ago.
Like you start a job, right?
Yeah.
And you're good at it, and you get promoted. And you're like, wow, I'm making more money. I got to keep working to get promoted. And you
Okay.
get promoted, and now you're like, man, I'm an executive. I'm making some fucking rich people money.
Okay.
But
Except
I
if you-
want more fucking money, and I want to get promoted again. And that's what this guy's fucking doing.
That
He
is-
needs another goddamn promotion.
That is absolutely the J perspective, but if he gets caught ever, slips up once, someone tells on him, he's going to a
He's fine. He's
cement
going
block
for a
the rest of his
promotion.
life. Yeah, he's loving the promotion. So is his wife. His wife's like, this game's awesome. This is what we do. Their kids live extremely rich, wealthy lives. It's great. They got horses,
Okay.
lawnmower cars.
Just for perspective, 4.5 million in 1980 is 13 million today.
Yep.
Or in 2016.
That gets things done.
I'm curious to know if his kids were ever like, my dad races cars.
Yeah.
And that's how he makes millions of dollars.
And then people who are, because all this time, the people around him, well, we're going to get into that too.
who are also like race car drivers and
Yeah,
stuff.
but they're sponsored corporations. It's all big money teams, wealthy people. And this guy's just like, hey, dude, what's up? You want to go fast? Hell yeah, me too. I know how to drive that fucking thing. Let's go. And then he wins. And then they're all like, where do you get your money? I don't know if it's in here, but at one point, the other crews, pit crews, what they said of his team at the time was, before everyone found out about the drugs, was like, we didn't know about him at all when they showed up, but all we knew was they were the only team where every single person had a fucking Rolex. They were just, he was throwing down millions.
This guy sounds like Ricky from Trailer Park Boys if he was
Not
successful.
a fuck up, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's
Yeah, that's what he
80s
sounds like.
Florida Ricky, not a fuck up.
If he didn't pronounce every word wrong and mess everything up all the time.
Yeah, he might mess stuff up.
I mean,
at some point,
worst
just a
case
little.
Ontario, he gets in trouble.
That's true. I mean, it's not rocket appliances. It's just a race car.
Yeah.
Also, you watched Mindhunter, right?
Not all of it.
That looks like one of the cops from Mindhunter.
Well, he looks like every cop from that age.
Just every dude in his 20s, 30s. At this point, Lanier and Pam moved into a new 5-bedroom ranch house outfitted with platinum sinks. They had a private... Yeah, I know. I was trying to imagine. That's like, why? Just get fucking sterling silver or something. They had a private lake stocked with fish and a pair of Rottweilers to patrol the grounds. He was living big. He bought himself a new Porsche for driving around for fun and a Mercedes for his wife, Pam. He said at the time, we lived in a mansion. It looked like Scarface house.
like Scarface.
We had everything we wanted. Should anyone ask, his newfound success arose. Oh, that's right. He didn't say it was from the NASCAR. He said, well, I've got this whole bunch of these jet ski rental shops. It's making big money. And that's how he laundered. He had multiple businesses, and he would tell people, I own a chain of jet ski rentals.
Gotcha.
I'm
And
just
he
out there on
and
the
he
water.
laundered the money through it.
Oh, yeah. And so that was his front. On top of being an amateur but really elite racer. By the early 80s, around when all of this is happening right now, 3/4 of the United States marijuana supply originated from Colombia. So those 100 docks, 3/4 of all the weed in North America.
God damn.
Yeah.
Is this during the whole reefer madness thing or no?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
Reefer
no.
Madness
No,
was
Reefer
back in the
Madness
40s.
was
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
40s,
No.
50s, right?
30s.
30s?
Yeah. It may have been the 40s, but
Yeah,
it's
it was black
early.
and
It's
white
like
shit.
2030s.
But there was still
But
the
it didn't become,
crackdown on the
like, culty
hippies.
until the 80s. Like a cult classic.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's still a little
But I mean, the drug war was starting now. I
Yeah.
mean, it was rough.
Well, Nixon started the drug
well,
war
and
in
again,
the 70s, so yeah.
The CIA brought coke in around this time. They are the ones who went to South America and got all this going. Poppy fields in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Look at Tower 7. Let's see. According to a CIA report at the time, a trafficker could earn a return of investment of around 115%. In 1982, one of Lanier's distributors introduced him to Bob Kramer, the guy who was, Kramer introduced him to another Florida smuggler named George Brock. Brock knew a shipyard owner named Eugene Fisher. So again, it's just they have all stories that are interesting, but there's some dudes who owned an ocean-going barge, big ocean-going, transatlantic, like Titanic-ish, I think, or maybe barge. So just like the shipping container ships, that kind of thing. It was a flat-decked vessel the length of a football field. Together, the men soon hatched an audacious plan. After a team of welders outfitted the barge's ballast tanks, so those big, I think where they exhaust out, they put secret compartments all around there, and these guys are welding them in. So then they're going to have to cut them out. So it's like...
It's major.
It's just some fuck-off dude at a port's like, what do you have in there? And it's like, nothing, look. And he's like, that's a steel wall. That is nothing. Sail on through.
Why does he talk like that?
I don't know. He's a slow man. But I mean, shit was easy, like you said.
If you think about it, he only has a barge job, so at a port,
He said those are apples.
he's just doing his best, Cayman.
So they outfitted all the ballast tanks and the whole hull with secret compartments. Then the vessel sailed for Guajira Peninsula, where that's all growing, in Colombia. The barge could hold more than 100 tons of marijuana. 2,000 pounds. That's 200,000 pounds of marijuana.
What's
50
the,
pound
What are
or-
the kilos? Like, what's the conversion?
Couldn't tell you.
Okay.
Calculator.
Do you really care? I mean,
No, I don't.
The barge could even hold, or never mind, enough to keep an entire city high is how much 200,000 pounds is apparently.
How big of a city? Like
Imagine if you lit
Chicago
a barge on fire.
or Detroit,
jeez.
or
You know how they do like those giant wood things they burn, like Burning Man?
Yeah.
You do that with a barge of only dense weed. You ignite the entire thing. It's enough to get the radius of a city high. So there you go.
Why don't we do
That's a
that
lot.
here?
It's expensive, dude. You want to get a fast boat?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll go up to Canada. Get it there. Lanier's bookkeeper dubbed the new enterprise the Company. They've got cool names.
The company.
It's just the Company.
That's smooth. That's sexy.
Yep.
That's dangerous.
Made another
I
30
like
million
it.
at
It's
the Company.
simple.
Yep.
It's just the company.
It's 80s as fuck.
Yeah.
You know.
Where do you work at? The company.
That sounds
Fuck
like
yeah.
the bad guy from any 80s movie.
In early 1983, and again, so that's basically a drug cartel. It is a drug cartel. Name the company. And it's just fucking party boys from Florida that like to go fast, dude. Goddamn. Early 1983, so we've only gone like 1 or 2 years here. The barge sailed up the New York's East River and docked in Brooklyn Navy Yard, which was like decrepit, falling apart at this time, roaming wild dogs and shit. Lanier kept watching the car. There was a thing on the interview where the cop drove by him. So he's at watch right on the bay. The boat's out there coming in. He's got spotters all around, but the cop like slowed down, drove past his parked car, turned around, slowed down, drove slowly past, but then left and nothing happened. He's talking to them on the radio, boom, pinging each other. At this point, the team on the barge cut through the ballast tanks with acetylene torches, revealing 130,000 pounds of Colombian gold stacked 2 stories tall. So that's
Two stories.
that's a little more than half of the total load. 2 stacks, 2 stories tall. The scheme was simple but ingenious because at this time people are not doing this shit. They were kind of, on the other people at the time. Anyway, in Guajira, back in Colombia, welders had sealed the bales under steel plates. The secret compartments were then filled with seawater so that a curious customs official would find only brine. and probably not be able to look through the water. Once Lanier's welders had finished cutting open the tanks, another team hauled the bales out, loaded them into tractor trailers, and down the road they are. Soon the last truck pulled out of the New York Navy Yard gate, disappeared down a dark Brooklyn street, bound for Lanier's distributors. He was ecstatic, excited. It was the biggest haul yet. At the time, there were very few, if any, traffickers at all bold enough to smuggle that much marijuana or any drug into the heart of Brooklyn. Who's going to do that? Fucking Randy Lanier is.
Yeah,
because he's good at weed and he's good at going fast.
Sandy Randy the Mandy.
Yeah, the weed bandy. Lanier had moved the barge like a chess piece, advancing it from Colombia through several overseas ports to mask its point of origin. So it's like, no, it came from here. And then he went to the next one. He's like, no, it's from that one I was just at. And then did that a few times. And basically, it's kind of like a VPN for your IP address.
Yeah.
You just bounce on a few servers. You just
That's
bounce through some
insane.
ports. It's pirate shit, like you said.
Yeah.
The route, the timing, it was like racing on the track. Quote from him: "You're hitting your lines, hitting your apexes. You're in the zone." So he's just fucking being his best self out there.
So I'm assuming
Killing it.
He's not dealing coke, but do we know if he's snorting it?
Probably. I didn't hear anything about drug use, but I mean, fuck, it's the 80s. He's a drug lord.
Yeah.
He's got a party, probably. Fucking Christ. That's way more than I wanted.
Jesus.
Sorry. That night, he and Bob Kramer rented a private room in a Manhattan restaurant to celebrate, to commemorate their new status as 100,000-pound class super smugglers, because that's top 1% of top 1%.
Yeah,
probably. Lanier bought personalized hats for the entire crew that said the 100 Club. So they're the company and they're the 100 Club.
What did the 100?
That means that at a time they moved hundreds of thousands of pounds. So it's how many thousands of pounds or kilos, I guess. So they're fucking, dude, it's the dream come true, boy. They're having so much fun. These are the last pictures. This one is called Success. So we're going to talk about how his racing shit went again. So we're going to spool back time. So all this shit we just talked about with smuggling, everything we're about to talk about is all happening at the same time. He's going from racetrack over to New York's harbor to fucking sit in a car and flash some dude a light to bring in the biggest amount of marijuana ever into the country, probably.
It's insane.
Lanier, after that, returned to Florida, and he was itching to make his name in the racing world. He began pumping his drug money into a professional racing team. So that was the initial question. And he did some of the stuff some of us talked about a little bit. He bought 2 just good-ass racing cars, bought a warehouse to maintain them. He basically just picked up an old Formula One crew who just like got dropped or something, or that sponsorship ended. He's like, hey, you guys want to just all fucking come help me? Go fast? I want to go fast. And they're like, yeah, we can make you go fast. So he's got these team of mechanics. He's throwing money at them. That he's like, have a Rolex. Here's some hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Just imagine he's like, hey, I like you guys. And then just like anything they say, he finds hilarious.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, so we need a new air pump for the tires. I like you, Jim.
I'm going to go drive. That's funny. I need to go fast now.
Hey, here's 100,000.
Or just like, here's a 50-pound bale of weed.
Shit.
You know? Because, fuck, he's got
Would you accept like a
skyscrapers.
tip of weed if it was like, that much?
I mean, you'd have to sell it, so you take on the risk. But if you did sell it, you're getting
I'm
a lot
saying
of
if
money.
someone just gifted it to you right now,
That'd
would
be
you
rough.
accept it?
I don't know.
Would you crawl around in it and
I
sniff
tried to eat it all at once.
If you go with suppository, you could fit a lot more in there.
I don't know about a lot more.
I
You could
want
fit
to.
more.
I want to know how many bales of weed he had in his mustache.
Dude, no shit. Yeah. But doesn't he? What do you guys think about how he looks? Now you're actually seeing like close-ups of his face.
He's a fucking goofball,
Yeah,
man.
he's just fucking doing what he wants, man.
He doesn't give a fuck. That's the look of a guy who's like, I might even just put bales of weed in this fucking supercar just because I can, because fuck it.
No, Randy, I don't think that would work. Oh, yeah, because it's a circle. Not going to make it anywhere. It's going to go right back to the pit. That's not going
He
to work.
looks like a guy, the fucker right in the pussy videos?
Yeah.
He looks like the guy that anytime there's a bunch of people over, he puts on that video and makes everybody watch it.
Isn't that
Every
funny
time.
as shit?
Oh, look at it. It's coming. It's coming.
Fucking crushing cans on his head.
All right,
Yeah.
so here's the thing, guys. If the cops get behind you, just drive right into that garage over there. There's a supercar waiting for you. Just jump on in. We go fast and they go slow. Fuck it.
So, and again, it is fun to make fun of him, but you got to remember, so he's not educated, but he's clever, smart, and
Yeah,
tactical.
yeah.
Like, He's pulling up, like it said, the chess piece maneuvers.
That picture in the top right, he's saying,
that girl's showing her tits. I love racing. Okay, so he named this whole new crew and his new outfit. So we got the company, the 100 Club, his racing team.
the Weeders Speeders.
Nope. He wasn't that on the nose about it.
The green team machine.
Mugglins. No, his team name was Blue Thunder. Hell yeah. What's faster than Thunder? Nothing.
Well,
which is funny because it's
light.
Yeah, I know.
There's two things that are fast: blue and thunder.
And me, that's
and
three.
Me, I'm the driver. You guys are the blue. That guy's the thunder.
I like his camel sponsorship.
Yeah. So at this point, he is a bona fide drug kingpin. At the time, easily one of the biggest ever. Now it's 1984, so this is a year or two after he moved that big barge, I think. What he did was at this time, he did the grassroots rookie circuits. He did the French Le Mans International. And now at the start of the 1984 racing season, he's like, fuck it, I'm going pro as shit. I want to be elite at this. So he had his first race of that season. It was called the 12 Hours of Sebring. So again, swapping out long race. Lanier and his co-driver Bill Whittington, who Bill Whittington has one of the craziest side stories. He just had a ton. All these guys were going crazy. And I'll probably talk about them more in the second one.
Okay.
So he was his co-driver. They came in 2 laps behind the winner. So like barely behind.
Wow.
And so that's still extremely impressive. Shit happens. And everyone is paying attention to this brand new team who beat out all those other people. Then they went on to the Riverside Grand Prix in Los Angeles and won. Then they won the Laguna Seca, which is a big one. Then they won Charlotte, whatever that is. Lanier couldn't stop winning. He's fucking, what's his name? Charlie Sheen. He's Charlie Sheen as fuck on huge levels in both parts of his life because he only has 2 hobbies and he's goddamn good at them. At the Grand Prix in Portland, Oregon, he won in a dramatic finish after the lead driver's car ran out of gas on the last lap, and he sailed by, killed it. Woo!
That's the face he's making right there.
I wonder if he just smoked so much fucking weed, whereas everyone else is seeing shit going at 100+ miles per hour, and he's just seeing shit going 20.
Normal, like.
Yeah, like, whatever, bruh.
So at this time, then he won. So these 2 500s I'm about to mention, the Michigan 500 and the New York 500. This next little part is about one of those. I don't know which one because it was on the podcast, and he's just an old fucking 7-year-old manager. Yeah, then I went over there. So around this time, he noticed people started following him. He's getting paranoid as fuck. He's trying to keep up his skill in both worlds as well as his appearance in one. So there's this whole thing he was talking about how they were trying to invent cooling gear at the time. So you had no gear to cool you off. No exhausting, exhausting out the air in the cabin. So you're just hot as shit. People like heat stroke and dying maybe. So at the time they're working on a new cooling helmet and he was helping design it. He put it on. They did something wrong to where like the exhaust was backwards. So it was pulling in air from the car and not from outside. He blacked out, went over the guardrail, slammed, and just wrecked. He was in the hospital, I think, for a little bit, but he was basically like, oh, shit, we need to fucking fix that helmet. And he just hopped up and was fine. And so at this time, he thought the FBI was following him because there were these people kind of trailing him. And he's obviously clever and street smart. So he's like, what in the fuck? Turns out it was Ford, the motor company. And they were like, so this is the end of that 1984 season where he won. Couldn't stop losing.
Yeah. Couldn't stop winning.
Tiger blood. Yeah, couldn't stop winning, sorry.
Yeah.
And so we talked to Ford, and they're like, hey, for 1985, basically they're going to give him a deal of a lifetime. He's the brand new racing star, but he has to race like every fucking race. So it's like obviously full-time gig. I mean, you're pro racer. So he's like, I literally can't do a pro racing career right now at that level because I'm making
way more money.
Actually stupid amounts of money. So he said, nope, too busy. He probably was like, I got too much shit going on down at the jet ski rental. I really can't do that. So what he did instead was he was like, fuck it, I don't need Ford. I'll race whenever I want. I'm going to throw obscene amounts of money. So at this point, he even steps up another notch. He's got like the best, most experienced people training him when he can. He gets like all of the best cars where most teams maybe would only have 1 or 2. He's just like, fill the fucking warehouse.
We're gonna
I want
see
them
a
all.
fucking Icarus story.
So he'd like race all these cars, kind of like a Harry Potter wand. He'd try them out and be like, "Yep, that's the one I like." I'm pretty sure.
That reference came out of fucking nowhere.
It makes sense. You gotta just
Yeah,
pick
yeah.
So
your
he's
wand.
just
And you're
driving cars and like, this one fucking, the wand color's the right color. And
yeah,
I'm
look at
pretty
these-
sure this has got unicorn fucking hair in it.
I know, but look at these fucking cars that he's racing. Those were cool as fuck at the time. Those were the craziest machines ever, I'm sure. Yeah, anyway.
He looks like Burt Reynolds, distant.
Kind of has a baby
Distant.
face, like on
Yeah.
the right hand.
Is he a short guy?
Yeah, he's kind of short. He's not very tall.
Came in, that's a fucking bold statement for you just to accuse someone of.
What? He's not saying it's bad. Are you saying it's bad to be short?
Came
just
and
has
made
to
it
be
sound
short.
like the upward inflection was like, this guy's short.
Well, no, because you see him next to like 3 other guys or 2 other guys.
Yeah, he's probably
3
like
other guys.
maybe
Look at the
5'4",
monster
5'6".
behind them back there.
Hey,
Fucking 6'8", dude.
Hey Randy, you're really good.
That guy's
Can I
tall.
be on your
That's what I'm saying. He's huge. He's really
That guy's
tall.
taller than the umbrella they're holding.
Hey Randy, I think I saw you smuggling like a metric fuckload of weed the other night at the bay.
Jim.
Can I get a joint? Or so anyway, he won the Michigan 500, New York 500. It ended the whatever year.
You
84.
think he's driving with a dab rig in the back?
Who knows? I don't even know if he was smoking tough. I think he was
He's probably doing what the Trailer Park Boys did in like season whatever, the original seasons where they just chucked the weed in the engine block. It's like, it'll get you high as you drive.
Ugh. No, I think it's not about the drugs. He wants to go fast, adrenaline rush, because moving a barge into New York's heart, he's got to just have the biggest adrenaline boner of all time, and also going 200 miles an hour around a track, beating out everyone else. He's just an adrenaline junkie, and he's like, I will do as much of it as I can.
He'd probably be going a lot faster if he didn't have so much drag from his balls.
Yeah.
That dude's got a big meaty pair.
It's like you said at the beginning. You gotta just go as fast as your balls will let you.
We'll see what happened was so these before him, all engines were in the front, and they started designing them in the back because they put his balls
Oh, they
in
had to
the
run
front
'em under.
engine compartment. Yeah, you got to run him under.
I heard
his balls
too.
would sit under there.
I heard he had to have a wide stance with the pedals to move his legs out of the way.
Yeah.
For the balls to go forward, so he didn't, pinch them or something.
My balls are hot.
They invented the automatic transmission for him too, because every time he would shift gears, he'd pinch a ball.
So at the end of this season, he won not almost, but at least half of, and placed very high. He was crowned both the season's Camel GT champion and its most improved driver. Everyone's starstruck. A sports writer quoted saying, "Little known Randy Lanier shocked the racing world." And so to them, he's just some 20-something kid from Florida having fun. And no one knows he's moving the most amount of weed. At the award banquet, an astonished driver approached one of Lanier's crew. Oh, yeah, I did have this. And remarked, "I don't know where the hell these Blue Thunder guys came from, but they're the only race team where everyone on the pit crew wears a Rolex."
Jesus.
So he's stunting on people, too. He's
Yeah.
flexing hard as fuck. Between races, Lanier and his partners had also smugged in another barge load before the end of the season, this time carrying about 75 tons of Colombian gold, which is 150,000 pounds, I think.
Okay.
Yes, 150,000 pounds, which is a little less than the last one, but so much. Randy said about this time that it was the golden years for me. Racing, smuggling, I just made tens of millions of dollars. Cash was rolling in. I felt on top of the world. Fucking boo, yeah, that's great. Lanier began spending money the way he raced. He bought a fleet of exotic cars, 3 vacation homes in the Rockies themselves. He and Pam flew to races in private jets, hosted lavish parties, filled their hot tub, all of their houses' hot tubs were filled with Dom Perignon.
Of course.
I don't know how exactly you pronounce it.
You said it right.
Fuck it, dude. He has.
That's like champagne, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
sudsy.
Hey, your hot tub's kind of sticky out
I know
here.
it's great, and then you have them lick your balls up, and ooh boy.
It's warm champagne, you dumb fuck. You enjoy it? Get the fuck out.
Fuck off, bro. I'm just having fun, dude. Jesus Christ. Get your own fucking hot tub. At the time, Pam said it was crazy wild times. Learjets, bales of weed, drawers full of money. I was snorting. Okay, I didn't Google it. Maybe can you Google this for me?
Yeah.
I was snorting coke in the Jiffy John. Oh, it's probably porta potty, maybe. I don't know. And disappeared with our interior decorator. She was having fun. She's like, let's decorate. Let's get high and decorate.
So they were doing cocaine.
Yes, his wife was.
Yeah, it's a porta potty.
Yeah, okay. For his daughter's birthday, Lanier paid to truck in a circus elephant. Sure.
Hold up. Sorry, say that again. I was reading about the porta potty.
During one of his daughter's birthdays, Lanier would pay for a crew to truck in a circus elephant to their property.
That's so fucking cool.
The drug money flowed in such volumes that Lanier and Bob Kramer, had to launder a lot of it like the jet ski shop. So what they did, though, when they're getting this high level, they pulled some Donald Trump shit. They routed millions to a front company that started construction on a 100,000 square foot casino. You can launder a metric fuckload of money through a casino.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was called the Bell Gardens Bicycle Club in California. This is a quote, "We was all spending money by the millions. When we built it, it was the largest card casino in the USA."
Jesus Christ.
So he's just number one. 1984 was a hugely successful year for Randy. So he decided, let's take it all the way and join for the Indy 500, which at the time, and I guess now, is the event.
Yeah.
It's the Super Bowl. He's going for the Super Bowl. Randy had no experience with Indy cars. Apparently they're different. The race's average speed was orders of magnitude faster than anything he had driven before. So he had a learning curve ahead of him, which usually takes years of training and blah, blah, blah. But in 1985, Frank Arciero, a legendary figure known for picking talented rookies, signed Lanier as a driver. Soon, Lanier was funneling hundreds of thousands of dollars into training, equipment testing, and track time. So he's pinching seconds. He's like, I need to go a little faster just to win. The money was an equalizer on the kind of learning curve and playing field between him and most of the other people he was racing against who were way more experienced with Indy.
So also the difference between Indy, like I just did a quick Google search. The difference is like Indy cars have open wheels and open cockpit.
Oh, yeah,
Aren't they
okay.
shaped more like triangles too? Like
Yeah,
the drag race
yeah.
cars?
There's just
Which makes them-
less drag on them in general.
And they go like way faster.
Yeah.
So
They're also way more dangerous.
I'm sure, because they flip and just and fly off.
Yeah.
So saying about that time, doing the Indy 500, Randy Lanier said, I wanted to race the biggest race in the United States, and I didn't see any limits. I'm just going to fucking throw money at it. Let's go. The company also began planning to smuggle the barge into the U.S. around this time. Lanier recalls that this time he was carrying the largest shipment yet, a staggering haul of 83 tons, which is is that 1.6 million pounds? I don't fucking know. No, it's not. It's 166. It was worth about 55 million at the time, which I think the last time we did that, it's at least like 3 to 5 times more. So he's doing hundreds of millions on this one barge. At the same time, Lanier was growing increasingly worried about law enforcement.
Just quit.
He spotted 2 men parked by his driveway, and others seemed to trail his wife Pam and him to local restaurants and all around town, wherever they went. He said, I saw people that I thought was watching me. I never used the same phones twice. Then a week before Indy 500, his doorbell rang. A week before his biggest race. It was the brother of his distributor in Louisiana. Basically his like kind of lieutenant for all Louisiana. He had a very dire message for him. Things all of a sudden were not so great. The brother of the Louisiana manager said, my brother got arrested and he's cooperating.
Uh-oh.
So Lanier's gut just probably drops in this doorway, ready for the big race. His whole empire is at risk. The FBI has you under surveillance. So they were following him. At that moment, the company's barge was 10 days off the coast of New Orleans.
Oh, shit.
So they could know everything. Despite this risk, Lanier said, fuck it. And him and his partners decided to do it anyway. He said, we were so committed, so much money, so many people involved, so much had been spent on racing and the casino and the homes in Colorado. I had to smuggle to keep it up. So he can't walk away or everything falls apart.
Yeah, he can. It's easy. I mean, I'd rather go bankrupt than jail time.
Yeah, but if you go faster, just don't even go by jail.
I can't argue with that logic.
You just gotta go fast, dude. So now he ordered a tugboat captain to change course from Louisiana. So he's like, Louisiana's hot. And as we all know, back then, states did not communicate well about crimes, and federal was trying to keep up. It would now go down through the Panama Canal, sail north through the Pacific towards a harbor they had previously used in California. So he just sent the biggest shipment of weed ever to California to Louisiana. And I thought maybe, what if that shipment had gone to Louisiana. More people down there had smoked, and then it turned into Louisiana or the California of the South. Who knows? Lanier hoped it would be his final load. He's like, all right, I'm getting out. It's done. This is the biggest one. I did it. He said, my plan was to get out of the game and live a good life. I wanted to continue racing. I was probably just getting greedy. So he knew he was in too deep. A week later, Lanier sat inside his trailer at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway trying to clear his mind. It was the most important race of his career. Then he walked out to the track where his pit crew made final adjustments on a sleek March 86C, the color of a cherry tomato. His wife Pam looked down nervously from a VIP seat while some 300,000 fans watched in the stands. The Indy 500 was thrilling but also perilous. Dozens of drivers and their mechanics had died since the race started. Previous years. Lanier positioned his car just behind Formula One driver Fittipaldi. Knight Rider star David Hasselhoff, his hair spritzed in a resplendent plume. So some of this I'm pulling
now
from
it's a NASCAR story.
And I'm pulling some of these chunks of random little stories from the Rolling Stones article directly, so some of it's a little unnecessary wording. David Hasselhoff's looking hot as fuck. Crooned the national anthem to everybody. David Hasselhoff sang for him. How magical is that? When the green flag went down, or up, whatever it is, Lanier gunned down the front straightaway. He set the car up a whisper from the crash wall for the first turn, 90-degree blind curve. It might be a 90-degree blind curve, but we all saw a 90-degree curve coming. On the back straightaway, he neared 200 miles an hour. A blizzard of hot dog wrappers floated down from the stands. The fans blurred by in Technicolor smear. The car rattled violently in the lead car's turbulence, but the speed clarified. He forgot about the FBI. He forgot about the millions at stake. There was only this moment, present without past or future, consciousness freed of self and time amid the thunderous roar on the track.
Fuck yeah.
Rolling Stones said good riders. That was not me.
Yeah, we know.
Okay. Lanier moved up to number 5 with drivers Mears and Bobby Rahal, whoever, just some guys battling it for the front. Mears' car appeared in Lanier's rear view. He tried to pass, but Lanier blocked him. Seizing the opportunity, Rahal slipped by them both and 20 laps later took the checkered flag. Lanier came in only 9 cars behind, because I think there's like 30 or 50 cars. Like, it's a fuckload.
It's not bad for his first race.
Absolutely not. And so people are still paying attention. Because this is technically his second year of racing at all.
Yeah.
So Lanier did that. He was the only rookie to finish, and he had also clocked the fastest speed in history during the pre-qualifying laps, shattering Michael Andretti's previous record. At the awards banquet afterwards, Lanier, a boy from rural Virginia, virtually anonymous just a few years back, now seated among giants, accepted the Indy 500's Rookie of the Year award.
Yeah, and there's 33 cars in the Indy 500.
Is there? Okay.
Yeah.
At this time, more than 1,000 miles away, the company's barge slowly sailed toward the Panama Canal. Lanier thought to himself, prose or whatever, but during the banquet, Lanier probably thought to himself, this is the last one. If I get away with this, I'm done. Just racing.
Hell yeah.
So then part 2 is we're going to pick up and see what happens and see if he does fucking... And don't Google it, you shit fucks.
I'm going to Google it.
You should Google pictures of him now, though, because he really does look actually a lot better.
How do you spell his last name?
Lanier. Woo, I'm Randy. I go fast. Fuck yeah.
This has been another episode of Halfway to Thundertown. This one was good. I really like this one. Yeah. This one was a lot of fun.
Randy's awesome.
Yeah, I want to party with Randy.
Yeah, you can. He's around right now.
All right, let's go find him.
Okay.
And like I said, every Randy I know has a mustache. But things I fuck with, music. Check out music. Sorry, I'm dead. You could go check out kevinbandcamp.com/UncleStranger. Also go check out Struggle Club. They're on. Just Google Struggle Club. You'll find them. We'll have links to their stuff on the website and whatnot. Also, the other thing I fuck with is this book series I just discovered called Helldivers. Real good stuff. Post-apocalyptic, sci-fi, steampunky kind of. It's by Nicholas Sansbury Smith. Good stuff. Go check it out. It's a really good book. Mutants and fucking stuff.
Sweet.
I fuck with Instagram. You can find us on there as Halfway to Thundertown Podcast. I couldn't say my words right.
I think we're all dead this week.
Yeah, we are.
The other thing I fuck with is, it hasn't came out yet, but I'm excited to see it, is Shudder is now going to do a Creepshow TV series. So
Really?
yeah, so I think it's coming out in
Cool.
September, maybe. I don't know. It's coming out soon though, or soonish.
Cool. I fuck with a book that I just started and Cayman's going to start reading. It's called The Damned Highway, Fear and Loathing in Arkham. It's probably maybe something we're going to do an episode on later, but it's very fucking good. I'm only 20 pages in. It's just written as though it was Hunter S. Thompson dealing with eldritch horrors and tentacles while he's just tripping balls on LSD. And oh, wait, it's actually real. Oh, fuck, what's happening? It's very good. I also fuck with Halfway Thundertown, or Help Desk Nightmares.
This is our worst outro.
I know. I'm dead too.
We're doing our best, guys.
There are friends over in Detroit, probably, who
Probably.
work in
Maybe Chicago.
Yeah, it could be. Work in the IT field. So they talk about we're having to deal with dumb people with computers figuring out how to make someone realize that you can't just turn off the monitor. You gotta and so anyway, stuff like that's a lot of fun. They look at internet comments and questions that are absolutely it upsets me that I know that those questions are real. The dumb shit that's on the internet.
On their last episode, they were making fun of you, the fact that you know where they were from.
Good. Okay. Only they can tell me. I fuck with Drunken Arcanauts. It's our D&D show. Me, Cayman, Annie, our friend Risky, and our players. And Clancy, our friend, is the DM, Dungeon Master. He does crazy worlds. We hop around planes, die all the time. It's a lot of fun.
We broke the curse.
We did break the curse of everyone dying and it was in a circle where we would die in order every session.
Oh shit, that's spoilers. Whoops.
That could be. Yep. Well, fuck them. Check it out. Give it a listen. Even if you don't like D&D, it's really good entertainment. It's a lot of fun. I think that's it.
That's it. All right. If you're interested in finding all those shows, go to halfwaynetwork.com or go to your local podcast app and look them up directly. Please rate and review them if you can. If not, go fuck yourself. I don't give a shit. And yeah. Is there anything else I usually say?
Next time.
Oh, I know that, but what do I usually fuck with? Is it usually just Halfway Network?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can find us on all the social medias, Instagram, Twitter.
Fucking Google Halfway Network.
Yeah, just fucking go to halfwaynetwork.com. You can also watch our live feed of all our shows every week. Just go ahead and hit that follow button on Twitch. If not, again, go fuck yourself. So the next episode of Halfway to Thundertown, I tell you to go fuck yourself for a third time.
Spoilers.
Spoiler, I hardly know her.